not on my radar heading into this season. I am in the camp of people who are somewhat shocked at this point to see him go that fast. But the community has let me know that they want to know my thoughts on it. So here they are. And I think it's bigger than just Bryan Levell at this point. It really comes down to the landscape of the 200-meter dash, for that matter, the landscape of sprinting, and where Jamaica fits into all of it. Because that's Bryan Levell, that's Oblique Seville, of course it's Kishane Thompson, it's Akeem Blake, like, hey, let's go there. So for the record, this video is one of those moments where I listen to the comment section. So I'm just gonna sound off my thoughts in response to things that I'm seeing there. And hey, let the chips fall. I'm gonna try to read the comments that you have. I do pay attention, but I mean, I try to, just call it like I see it. And if people say I'm biased, well, I hear that on both sides. They say I'm biased for the Americans and Noah Lyles, and some people say that I'm hating on the Americans and Noah Lyles. And then some people say I'm biased for Kishane Thompson and Jamaica, and then they say I'm hating on Kishane Thompson and Jamaica. So I just let the chips fall and see where it goes. Bryan Levell is the conversation starter, so let's go. As far as Bryan Levell's performance is concerned, 19.69, like the race itself, the time, especially seeing the field that he was running against and like how distantly off they were. You gotta tip your hat off and say that race is amazing. He'd already run fast wind assisted, so we know that he's not, like he has real quality when it comes to that event. The 100 meter that he ran, the 982, that one's even more wild, but I've already shared my thoughts on that. No need to go back on it now. So we're seeing consistency in multiple races on the circuit, and more importantly, the 200 meter dash right now, just calling it like I see it, the three people who are the class of the world. Generally speaking, you should know who the names are by now if you pay attention to men's sprinting. You've got Noah Lyles, Desirez and Kenny Bednarek. Now, I'm going to say in no particular order, but I know what order I'm putting them in. Like, I know which one I would. It'd probably be Noah Lyles, Desirez and once again, Kenny Bednarek in that order. That's the order I'm giving it. When you go 19.69, I mean, all the men I just gave you have gone faster than that at some point in their career. But where he falls, and I know, Anderson Emerald, the final leg, he went through a lot of history, regarding Jamaica and the 200. So if you want more info on that, you can check out his video. I'm just saying, when you put it on the board, that's fast enough to say I can now mix it up with the class of the field. So Jamaica could get a medal in the 200 this year, like realistically, like by going out there and running hard, even with those men in top form. Now, do I think that it will happen? I think what's still more likely is that Bryan Levell gets fourth, even if he does perform up to his capability. But getting a medal is now realistic. Like 1969 puts, because a lot of people can't go at that pace to go that fast. So that's just the time in a nutshell. But you have to remember, like the consistency we've seen, like Noah Lyles, World Championship 200, there's a reason why he has 3 of them in a row. Desirez, he has multiple medals in that event. Of course, Olympic final last year, we all know what happened as far as him getting the gold. Kenny Bednarek has consistently been on the podium, specifically getting second, whether it was the Olympics or a World Championship, except 1 year for the last 4. Like, that's what you're up against when you're running the 200. But like I said, this is bigger than just Bryan Levell. Because, to finish up on him, the first time I paid attention to Bryan Levell this year was when he popped up on the Grand Slam track radar. Like, he was running in Grand Slam track Philadelphia. And I believe he actually got second place in the 100, where Kenny Bednarek runs fast, or pretty fast in that race. Everybody else was pretty distantly off, but he was second. And then Bryan Levell runs 5th place. I just fact-checked it. 20.63, I think, was the time in the 200 in that race. I think, I'm pretty sure it was 20.6 something. Just put that in perspective. 20.6, and now we're talking about 19.6. Now, I get it. The race didn't matter all that much. It is what it is. Every, coach, training system has their priorities. But when you see that on a pro circuit race, because that's 100% what Grand Slam track was trying to be, like, you have to forgive me for not taking him all that seriously in that event at that moment. I apologize. Hey, you showed me. Bryan Levell is legit when it comes to speed. When I watch him run, and I'm thinking back to that 100 that I watched, just a week or two ago, like, that actually reminds me a lot more of Asafa Powell than anything else. So the fact that we aren't going to see Bryan Levell, as far as I know, in the World Championship 100 is actually a little bit of a disappointment. But running rounds is a skill, and, running 3 rounds, like, through the 200, I mean, I get it. Like, that's going to be a challenge to show up to the final and, give something that can get you on the podium. Like, not just a one-off race, but he can do it. Like, he's in the small group of men who I realistically think could get a medal, who aren't the names that I gave. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. and I'm Coach Rob, and if you really want to know what's going on with the fastest athletes in the world, then you are in the right place. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. But when I talk about the landscape of Jamaican sprinting, and I'm American, so I get it. Like, every nation sees track and field a little bit differently and their priorities. Jamaica, from what I can tell, the comment section seems to make it clear to me that they more or less dialed in the way that they coach for their most elite athletes to the World Championship meet. Everything else doesn't really matter. It's get to the Worlds, win at the Worlds. That is it. And I think every nation is doing that to some degree, but apparently I'm being made to feel that perhaps Jamaica tries to do that even more. Maybe that's true, maybe it isn't. I'm not there. What I will say is this much. The landscape of sprinting right now, like Jamaica's back. I've said this before, I'm saying it again. Jamaica's back. America never left. The only thing America's been struggling with has been relays. But when it comes to running individual races, we have way more talent than we know what to do with. That's what our USA championships told us again in the 100. The 200 to a lesser degree. Because we have Noah and Kenny, who've been so rock solid for like the better part of the last decade, we're always going to be there in those events. And we've always been there in those events. I mean, Arian Knighton this year was dealing with an injury. But other than that, like, we've had multiple guys always there. In the 100, we can swap names in and out. That's what it comes down to. Like, who you want. Because yes, Noah's in the 100 now and been there for a while. Kenny's in the 100 now and clearly we should take him seriously. But we have other names. In Jamaica, they have a short list from what I can tell. But that short list is just about as good as anything anyone else is going to give you. They just may not have as many names like right on deck that you can just swap in and out. So, when I talk about the landscape, like when I say Jamaica is back, on talent, we know that when it comes to relays, Jamaica, it should be there. Getting to stick around, that's another conversation. I have very strong feelings about the relay and what I think teams can run, should run, or what have you. Because when you have athletes who don't train consistently to run relays and compete in them together, because we see what the college system in America looks like when a team does that. That's how you can get sub 38 out of a group of men who really don't have the talent to run sub 38, but they can do it. Or at the very least, mid to low 38s out of those types of groups. Again, don't have the talent to run on the world stage individually, but those teams can perform and go really fast. Again, that's on the table. But from the individual, when we talk 100, 200, because I've already covered Bryan Levell, but now let's get to, the nitty gritty. I'm going to go on the record because every video I'm on the record and I try to say a lot, and I get it. If you don't listen to the entire video, I totally understand people are busy, but I try to clarify or clean things up. And sometimes I make a bunch of different points, and that's okay. But I'm making this one right now about Kishane Thompson, Jamaica, and the 100-meter dash. I think I've been pretty consistent that on talent in 2025, Kishane Thompson has been the most dominant sprinter that we have in the 100. I'm not debating that. He's run on the circuit, he's run multiple times, he's run more than I expected him to do. I'm happy to see him go out there and compete. He's consistently winning. That's true. And when it comes to what we expect for the World Championship final, I fully expect that he's not only going to be there, that he'll be on the podium, and that, yes, it makes sense to have him as the favorite. It does. All the present evidence in 2025 says he should win the gold. The only reason I'm not fully on that train, I said it's 48-52. 48-52 between Noah Lyles and him, and I'm going 52 on Noah. It's because Noah Lyles has consistently proven over the last 2 years now, and this is now year 3. So, if he does it again this year, you just kind of got to throw your hands up. That he doesn't need to be the fastest throughout the year. He doesn't even need to be the fastest throughout the rounds to win the biggest race. He just runs differently. Everybody has what they're doing, but that's what he's doing. In 2023, when Noah Lyles won the world championship, he opened his year losing to a high school runner, and then he wins the world championship. It just is what it is. Oblique Seville, using him as a different athlete, his talent is undeniable. I even call it scary. When it comes to winning medals, of course he has the talent to win a medal. We've known that for a while. And this year is as good a year as any for him to get one. But when Oblique Seville wins in London, using that race, he ran a great race. And then I think the rest of the field just kind of ran what you would expect in a random Diamond League meeting that doesn't mean all that much at that time in the year based on where they are in their training. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's how I see it. So him going 980 low in that race, which is more or less a similar quality race to what we saw in the Jamaican national trials, which is a much better indication of what he can do, doesn't tell me that he's going to go run 975 in the World Championship final. I mean, it might happen. It's just, that's not where I'm planting my flag. I think he just ran closer to his capability in that specific race. Noah Lyles does not run close to his capability in a lot of races on the circuit, specifically in the 100. The 200 is a separate story. He generally wins those. The 100, that can be up and down. Kishane Thompson's consistency this year has made it clear that it doesn't really matter who you are or what you think you're doing. You're probably not going to beat him unless you can survive the onslaught that is the first 75 meters of his race and then come back in the last 25. Noah Lyles hasn't only just done it once. Like, he's the only person who I actually believe could do it when Kishane Thompson comes and runs like he does at Jamaican trials. But if he does go faster than 975, like, I think 975 or faster, wind legal, is enough, where nobody can come and get him. I really believe that. I think that's all he has to do. I just don't know if he will do that in the final after 3 rounds, the way everything's going to play out. It might happen. Then again, it might not. That is what I mean when I say we talk about people's potential as if it already happened. It might be the plan and it might happen. But the idea that an athlete is going to run better than they have ever run in the biggest race of the year, and we just count that as a foregone conclusion, should not be assumed. And I don't just mean better on the clock, I mean better comparatively. Kishane Thompson's been winning races, and even in his best races, the field, like whoever's behind him, has been within a tenth of a second. So that's what I'm expecting to see at the World Championships. If he wins, he's likely not going to just go so far away from the field. I'm talking, like, when we think about the Usain Bolt era and what that looked like, I don't think we're going to see like these tenth of a second. Like, I don't think we're going to get that. And to clean that statement up even more, I fact-checked myself on this. Usain Bolt had multiple seasons while he was on the circuit where he was undefeated. I didn't say he lost his first race of the year. You see what I'm saying? Straight up undefeated from start to finish. Even some of the years that were considered his down years, he was still undefeated. Somebody else might have been running faster on the circuit. But when it comes to, like, him being in a race, he was undefeated from start to finish. Nobody like that, we all know, is in the field right now. So it's all technically open season. But Kishane Thompson is the front runner. In the 200, Bryan Levell is a competitor. He's now a top flight one. Someone who on talent has proven that he belongs in the final and has a shot to get a medal. But you can't call him the front runner because in that event, we now have Noah Lyles, Kenny Bednarik, Letsile Teboho, where for the most part, when you get multiple medals in the same event, multiple years in a row, like Kenny doesn't have gold, but he's just been doing it now for about 4 to 5 years. Noah has a whole bunch of golds, just doesn't have them in the Olympics, but he always gets a medal anyway when he's there. And then, you got Letsile, who has multiple medals and a gold in the Olympics. All of those accounts make it real hard, like, for someone to get in. But the 100 is not that. The 100 is, yes, Kishane, I'm pretty sure if we're going off of just 2025, yes, you put him as the front runner. I said still, I've already shared my thoughts. Him and Noah, kind of neck and neck. I'm taking Noah because it's hard for me to unsee what I've seen, that he doesn't need to win all the way through or like show you that to be able to give you something special in the final race. And then you have that next spot. Like that next spot, that bronze medal, or even for that matter, somebody falling off. I just think that the winner is going to be Noah or Kishane. Like, that's just how I see it. If Kishane doesn't win, it's going to be Noah. If Noah doesn't win, I'm almost 100% it's going to be Kishane. Anything else is up for grabs. It's a grab bag. Maybe you have Oblique. Maybe you have Kenny Bednarik. You might even have Akani Zimbini. I'm not mad at you if you have any of them. But that's just how I'm calling it. Right now, Jamaica, when it comes to men's sprinting, they're not just back. They are ready to go after the throne. They might leave Tokyo with multiple medals. Specifically, we're talking about gold. Personally, I'm looking at the 100 and the 4x1. That's probably where I'm seeing it. Don't think they're going to get gold in the 2. Just saying. But wouldn't shock me if they got a medal over there either. They might even get 2 medals in the 100. That makes sense to me. It could be silver and bronze. It could be gold and bronze. It could be gold and silver, but not exactly where I'm leaning. Like, this is where we're at. But to put it on the record, USA versus Jamaica, that debate is going to be ongoing. The rivalry is here, and it's not going anywhere. And that's that. The sport of track and field is not just about running fast. It is about doing it over and over and over again. Because whenever you step to the line, your reputation is on the line as well. With the Wake Up, Run Fast, and Repeat shirt, you can make it clear that running faster than the competition is a habit. Get yours at searecruiting.com/shop or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.